Good morning, my brothers and sisters, on this beautiful, snowy morning. Here's the big concept for today. You are in the mind of God. Now, make no mistake, we're studying Psalm 40 for the first time. And for sure, it is a call for help. It's asking for deliverance. In it, we're going to see the Lord intervene and act and defend and thwart and deliver and have mercy and exude steadfast love and do all these wonderful things. But before all that, he has to think about us. In verse 1, it says, he inclined to me and heard my cry. So the Lord is bending down. And then the last verse, but the Lord takes thought for me. So I'd like to explore this wonder with you in these 7 minutes of biblical wonder, which is a place where we consider the character and characteristics of God. And here's the big thought for today, is before God does anything, he thinks. Before he intervenes, he inclines toward. Before he saves, he stretches out towards. Before he bears these burdens, he bends toward. And before the Lord acts, he avails himself. And before he launches out, he leans in. So look with me at the first and last verses of Psalm 40. That's all we're going to get to today. Verse 1, I waited patiently for the Lord. He inclined to me and heard my cry. And then verse 17, as for me, I am poor and needy, but the Lord takes thought for me. You are my help and my deliverer. Do not delay, O God. So the Lord takes thought for me. It means he thinks of me. He holds me in his thought. He considers me. The Lord thinks of me. It's just an awesome thought. And then he values me and acts for me. So the Lord is leaning in, giving ear, thinking of me, and then he acts. So for every action of the Lord, there's a corresponding and pre-existing thought of God. So for every answer, he has to first be listening to the question, the ask. So to answer a prayer, he first has to hear the ask and then care enough to lean in and do something about it. So verse 1, he inclined to me and heard my cry. This reminds me of a similar concept that we looked at when we looked at Psalm 8, which similarly was a psalm of David. I think David is on the same theme here. It's echoed in a number of other places in the Bible. Job 7:17. What is man that you make so much of him, and that you set your heart upon him? Visit him every morning and test him every moment. So who are we that you incline yourselves, reach for, stretch toward, and bend directionally towards us? And I think it is geographically helpful to consider the height and breadth and length and depth of Christ's love. So it's kind of mind-blowing. Paul describes it in 4 dimensions. God's mind-blowing love in 4 dimensions. And the psalmist here is kind of asking us to consider the 4 dimensions of God's love in the 3 dimensions that we can understand. So when Paul prays for the Ephesians, he actually prays that the Ephesians could understand this particular concept. For this reason, I bow my knees before the Father, that according to the riches of his glory, he may grant you to be strengthened with power through his Spirit in your inner being, so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith, that you, being rooted and grounded in love, may have strength to comprehend with all the saints what is the breadth and length and height and depth and to know the love of Christ that surpasses knowledge. So I think Paul is saying, I want you to know the dimensional geography of God. I want you to have the strength of faith to understand the dimensions of his love. So picture this. The Lord inclines himself. He bends down. He listens and leans in. It kind of reminds me of the picture in the cartoon Iron Giant, where this massive, powerful iron giant is kneeling down and listening to the young boy, kind of the discoverer of his great power. Now, I think we're tempted to immediately kind of skip the thoughts of God and want the fruit of God, the fruit of his action. But think of this. Before God acts, he leans in. Before he intervenes, he inclines towards. Before the Lord acts, he avails himself. Before he kind of launches out, he leans in. Before he takes action, he takes thought of what? Of me. Verse 1, he inclined to me and heard my cry. And who are we that we have his disposition? So this is the big point to sit with you. I am in the mind of God. And here's the big ask today. If you knew that you were in the mind of God, what would change? Well, I think a lot of things, probably everything. Your prayers would change. Your giving would change. Your thoughts would change. And your behaviors would change. So if I knew that I am in the mind of God, I think I would fill my mind more of God. So fill your mind of God because he has you in his mind. The fact that he inclines himself towards us, I think makes us want to incline ourselves towards him. So that's the big call today, is incline yourself towards him. And here's the rationale, because he's inclined himself towards you. So lean on him because he's leaned into you, towards you. And stretch towards him because he's stretched towards us. So one big thought, pin it on your chest today. I am in the mind of God. Thanks for listening.